Hey everybody. So as of August 30th, I have been taking testosterone for 1 year. Yay! So that's pretty exciting. Basically, noticed a lot of things that are different. I'm sure that this shocks no one. One of the biggest changes and the thing that really started happening first was that my voice is significantly deeper than it used to be. I really hated my voice back in the day. I also have these impressive sideburns and kind of a half weird beard that I'm trying to figure out what to do with because I don't want to shave it off because it's all I've ever wanted. Basically, I've always really wanted to have an impressive beard. It hasn't happened as quickly as I would have hoped, but it doesn't make a huge difference because everything else is going pretty well, so that's good. My moods are also a lot more even, which is kind of a nice side effect. I can't cry anymore, but whatever. And then, generally, just when I'm talking to people in the world, I feel a lot more confident because I don't get misgendered all the time. I don't feel like I have to try as hard to be read as male by other people. So even though I tried to, not care before, it's hard not to. So it's a lot better. There are several ways to get testosterone if you're not on it yet. Here's what I did. I I talked to my primary care physician, basically came out to her, told her I was trans, and then she referred me to the gender services clinic in my at the university in my town. Not obviously not everywhere has this, but hopefully if you are comfortable talking to your primary care physician, they can recommend someone who, you know, would be able to write you a letter eventually for hormones, which is what happened to me. Otherwise, the internet is a really good resource for trying to find somebody. Then you can usually just, call them. My primary care physician at the time wasn't super familiar with prescribing hormones and stuff like that. So once my therapist, I'd been seeing her for a couple months, she wrote me a letter so that I could get hormones, and she also told me they send all their patients to the same couple doctors. So I made an appointment with that new doctor, and then she prescribed me testosterone, and she's also my primary care physician. You can also just have an endocrinologist and keep your old doctor, but this was sort of the easiest way to do it, so I just switched doctors. Um, but yeah, the internet is also a good resource for finding doctors you can go to. Basically, just, the internet's great for everything except buying hormones illegally because that's not good. So yeah, year on testosterone's been going pretty well, except for the whole having to stab myself with a needle thing. Luckily, the bad of that doesn't outweigh the positives, so there we go.
Yeah, I had a slightly different experience on T than Xander did. For me, I started testosterone injections about 5 years ago, and I was on them for maybe 3 years or so. At that point, I became too afraid of needles to keep going with injecting myself. So I switched to a patch briefly. The patch did weird things to my skin. Yeah, I would get these rashes, and then the skin would get all flaky and peel off of my body. It was really not great. So then I switched to the gel. Um, the gel's obnoxious because, like the patch, I have to do it every day, but I have to rub this gel all over my body, and I have to leave my shirt off until it dries, and it takes a while, and it reeks of rubbing alcohol. And I also I don't think either of them are quite as effective as the injections. Like one thing that happened that I really don't like talking about is after I switched from the injections to the patches and gels, I started getting my period again. So that was just a terrible year before I got a hysterectomy. Just awful. But the great thing was when I was on injections, I just stopped getting my period immediately. First injection, never again have my period. While I was on injections, and that was great. Oh my god, so happy. It did take a long time for things like my beard or my voice to lower. It was 3 months before I got faint, invisible wisps of a mustache. And then my voice would crack all the time in college. So it was who's going through puberty really late? Meh. But it took a long time for that to really get going for me, at least 3 months, maybe 5 before anything started becoming noticeable. possibly even a full year before it was like really like, oh yeah, I actually have a beard now. But when it did happen, it was great. There were some like not super great side effects, like acne flared up pretty badly, and to this day I don't know if it was the testosterone or something else, but my emotional range shrunk. I would just sort of go back and forth from content to irritated, sometimes going up into happy or down into angry. But for a few years while I was on the injections, I stopped feeling sad. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really wish I could tell you more in terms of what to expect and when to expect it, but it is so different for everybody. I can only hope that, you know, my experience and Xander's experience give you a little taste of what you might see for you or for anybody that you know